Welcome to Seize the Mains by Raj Malhotra's IS Academy. I'm Surbhi Sardana and this is season 3 of our daily answer writing initiative. This initiative is directly linked to our website rajisacademy.com. The link to the website is there in the description below. What you can do is, after getting an understanding about how to write an answer to the question we are presenting, you can write your own answer, post it to our website in the mains answer writing section here. And what we do is that we evaluate your answers on a daily basis entirely free of cost. So join us on this journey, improve your answer writing skills as we move forward towards mains. Also, this initiative is linked with our daily current affairs discussion that happens subject wise. Subject wise current affairs discussion चलती है हमारे YouTube channel पर रोज़ 2:30 बजे every day at 2:30 PM. So जो भी टॉपिक उधर डिस्कस होता है उससे रिलेटेड हम क्वेश्चन यहाँ सीज़र मेंस में डिस्कस करते हैं. The question for day 33, this topic was taken by Madhu sir on Saturday. It was about the Antarctica bill. So the first question that comes to our mind is that why is Indian government trying to pass this Antarctica bill? So why is Antarctica significant for mankind? The second part is briefly discuss the provisions of Indian Antarctic bill. ज़्यादा अभी डेवलपमेंट्स नहीं हुई हैं, so you cannot talk about the pros and cons about the Antarctica bill. What we can discuss is just the provisions and the importance of Antarctica. So we'll start writing the answer to this. उससे पहले हमें क्वेश्चन को समझना ज़रूरी है. The word limit is 250 words, तो एक लॉन्ग आंसर है. एंड देर आर 2 पार्ट्स टू दिस क्वेश्चन. 2 पार्ट्स हैं इस क्वेश्चन के. तो फर्स्ट पार्ट जो है वो मोस्टली 30% वेटेज रखता है आपके क्वेश्चन में मोस्टली. अदरवाइज यू विल अंडरस्टैंड आफ्टर रीडिंग द क्वेश्चन. क्वेश्चन पढ़ने के बाद आपको वेटेज समझ में आएगा. सो वाई इज़ एंटार्क्टिका सिग्निफिकेंट फॉर मैनकाइंड? सो व्हाट वील डू इज़, जो हमारा स्टार्टिंग पैराग्राफ होगा, जो हमारा इंट्रोडक्टरी पैराग्राफ होगा, द फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ of our answer will not just be introduction, we will also talk about Antarctica and why is it significant for mankind. So introduction will have like 2 parts and it will talk about significance of Antarctica. The second part, the body paragraph, will talk about provisions of this new bill, which is very important from your mains point of view. So let's begin. A lot of text, आपको बहुत सारा टेक्स्ट दिख रहा होगा स्क्रीन पर, बट डोंट वरी अबाउट इट. वील जस्ट डिस्कस हाउ टू राइट द आंसर. एंड ये जो पूरा आंसर है वेबसाइट पर अवेलेबल है. यू कैन कॉपी पेस्ट इट फ्रॉम देयर, यू कैन रीड इट फ्रॉम देयर एंड राइट योर ओन आंसर. सो विद मी जस्ट डिस्कस व्हाट आर द most important significances of Antarctica for mankind. So first thing that you have to do is, in an introduction you have to talk about the thing generally. जो भी subject है उसके बारे में आपने generally बात करनी है. So talk about Antarctica as a continent. So it is the highest, driest, windiest and the coldest continent according to World Wildlife Fund. This information has been taken from the WWF website, World Wide Fund. And the huge frozen landmass of Antarctica is vital for our survival. So these 2 lines, यहाँ तक जो 2 lines हैं, they are very general and in your answers also they should be very general, but giving some information, कुछ peripheral information दे देनी है आपने first 2 lines में. Now from here either you can have a separate paragraph that why is Antarctica significant, or join it with the introduction and the things in red. जो भी रेड में यहाँ पर हाईलाइटेड है या जो भी आप रेड में टेक्स्ट देख रहे हैं उस चीज़ों को आपने अंडरलाइन करना है. दीज आर योर कीवर्ड्स. अंडरलाइन देम इन योर आंसर इफ़ यू आर नॉट राइटिंग इन अ पॉइंट फॉर्मेट अबाउट द फर्स्ट पार्ट ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन. सो एंटार्क्टिक आइस जो है इट डिफ्लेक्ट सम ऑफ द सन रेज. सन की जो रेज है, बिकॉज इट इज़ अ vast area made out of ice, so it deflects a lot of sun rays back to space, so it maintains the temperature of the earth. So it keeps temperatures livable on the earth. The next one is that the ocean that surrounds the continent, the southern ocean, it also supports masses of the world's sea life, including 15 species of whale, dolphin and penguin. So sea life के लिए बहुत important है. The next one is nutrient rich waters encourage blooms of tiny plankton. तो ये जो blooms होते हैं, plankton blooms होते हैं, they are very important for keeping the nutrient balance of the entire ocean ecosystem, the basis of ocean food chain. Antarctica is one of the world's मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट नेचुरल लेबोरेटरीज, यहाँ पे जो टेम्परेचर्स हैं -94 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड तक भी जाते हैं, बट साइंटिस्ट दे स्टे देयर इन सच हार्श वेदर to research, because Antarctica has got historical records. The ice, it has got historical records of climate change on Earth, of how the Earth evolved over periods of time in history. So it is one of the most important natural laboratories, as it helps us understand global climate change, and the unique archive logged in Antarctica's thick ice sheet tells us that our planet's climate has been like over almost a million years. What has it been like? Also, it is believed to hold rich deposits of oil and vital minerals. So these many significances are enough and important from the answer point of view. Nextly, after talking about significance of Antarctica, we will move the direction of our answer towards talking about why was the need of this bill. Antarctica को protect करने की क्यों ज़रूरत है. So what you will write at the end of your first paragraph is that Antarctica is very vulnerable, though it has a lot of ice, but even if small amount of ice melts, it has the potential to cause फ्लडिंग ऑल ओवर दी अर्थ. तो थोड़ी सी भी अगर आइस मेल्ट होती है, ग्लोबल वार्मिंग के बहुत हार्मफुल इम्पैक्ट्स होंगे, और जो हमारा सी लेवल है बहुत ज़्यादा राइज कर जाएगा. सो एंटार्क्टिका इज़ वेरी मच वल्नरेबल टू क्लाइमेट चेंज. Also you can talk about कि 20th century में, in the 20th century the average rise in temperature over Antarctica was 3 degrees Celsius, whereas in the rest of world it was less than 3. So it is an alarming situation. The Antarctic is one of the world's least disturbed places, but it is increasingly vulnerable, especially to global warming and climate change. Even small scale melting of Antarctic ice would raise global sea levels and cause flooding around the world. So now you have highlighted the importance of why saving Antarctica is important. Now we'll talk about the India's Antarctic bill, but before that you need to give a प्रीफेस टू योर आंसर. आपको बॉडी पैराग्राफ के लिए कुछ आपको प्रीफेस क्रिएट करना है, दैट इज़ व्हाट वी कॉल द लिंकेज पॉइंट इन आवर आंसर. सो ऑलमोस्ट 40 years ago इंडिया ने एंटार्क्टिक ट्रीटी साइन कर दी थी. एंटार्क्टिक ट्रीटी इज़ अबाउट प्रोटेक्टिंग द एंटार्क्टिक इकोसिस्टम. सो ऑलमोस्ट 40 years ago इंडिया साइन द एंटार्क्टिक ट्रीटी विच इज़ एम्ड एट प्रिजर्विंग द फ्रेजाइल एंटार्क्टिक इकोसिस्टम. So the Antarctic bill जो है, it is India's first domestic law pertaining to Antarctica in India. एंटार्क्टिक ट्रीटी जो है वो इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे है. टू अबाइड बाय द एंटार्क्टिक ट्रीटी वी हैव टू ब्रिंग सम नेशनल लॉ ऑल्सो. सो एंटार्क्टिक बिल विल turn into Antarctic Act once it is passed by both houses of the parliament, and then all these provisions can be brought into force. So this Antarctic bill has been brought up to give effect to the Antarctic treaty. This is what you can write. And there is there are two other conventions. The first one is Convention on Conservation of Antarctic Marine Living Resources and related protocols that India has signed, or what you can briefly say is that Antarctic treaty system को abide करने के लिए this bill has been brought up, and the main provisions are as follows. So the first provision is that this bill aims to control activities जो भी global warming या climate change cause कर रही हैं. Whatever the activities are being carried out by Indians or vessels or any body corporate that is authorized by Indian government. So to control their activities which cause climate change or global warming. So to control that, this bill has been brought in place. That accelerate climate change and endanger the continent's delicate ecosystem. So first aim is to control activities. The second is कि central committee बनाई जाएगी Ministry of Earth Sciences में. A ministry will be a central committee will oversee about how to whom permits will be granted for carrying out various activities. They'll collect and analyze relevant data with regards to that Antarctic ecosystem, and they also would negotiate fees or charges with respect to third parties to such activities. The third one would be permits, as we've studied up, that permits provided for Indian expedition, that also will be covered under this bill, not just by the body corporates, but all the Indian expeditions, they will be covered under this particular act or under the provisions of this bill. For people to stay in Indian stations in Antarctica, for any aircrafts or vehicles to enter or stay in Antarctica, for waste disposal, for drilling for resources, and for activities that would endanger the local wildlife. So everything is covered under provisions of this particular bill. The fourth provision, and the very important one, is that it forbids the detonation of nuclear weapons or the release of radioactive waste, because people sometimes think that nobody is watching here and we can we can put our radioactive waste or plastic waste here because Antarctica is all parts cannot be reached and nobody is watching. So this provision will deal with controlling that kind of waste. It forbids the detonation of nuclear weapons or release of radioactive waste, introduction of non-sterile soil, and the dumping of trash, plastic or other potentially harmful items into the ocean. The fifth one and the most important one here is the Indian Antarctic Authority. Indian Antarctic Authority बनाने की बात की जा रही है, which will be the highest decision making body with regards to Antarctica in India. जो भी activities Antarctica में carry out की जाएंगी, जो भी funds allocation होगा, that would be seen by Indian Antarctic Authority. Apex decision making body that will facilitate the programs and activities allowed by the bill. The next one is, this initiative will ensure compliance by Indian people engaging in the Antarctic programs and activities with relevant norms and internationally acknowledged standards. So now we'll have internationally acknowledged standards being put in place by this particular bill. It will facilitate India's interest and proactive involvement in the management of growing Antarctic tourism. The tourism in Antarctic is growing, it has grown up with time, but there is a downside to it, waste disposal, where tourists can go and where they cannot, and potential harms that tourists might cause by undertaking some expeditions or just by touring over the Antarctic, the potential harms they can cause to the wildlife or the biodiversity there. So this tourism is a very delicate but important aspect of this bill, or broadly about Antarctica also. So, and sustainable development of fisheries resources in Antarctic waters. So these were the 7 provisions. Now what you can talk about is, there was one article in the Mint and they said that ये जो bill है ये सिर्फ climate change को रोकने के लिए नहीं है. This is important from the geopolitical point of view also, because now India will have a more say. ज़्यादा इंडिया की outreach होगी towards handling the polar ecosystems. We already have the Arctic treaty के लिए already India has signed up years ago. Now we are also adhering to the Antarctic treaty, and by passing this bill we'll gain trust of all the international forums and all other nations in having a say in what happens over these polar ecosystems, especially over Antarctica after turning this bill into an act. So the bill is one of the many moves towards attaining its climate change goals. This is one, to achieve net zero emissions by 2070, which was promised at COP26, Conference of Parties 26 में हमने ये promise किया था. So this is one of the steps towards that. Second one is that it will also play a big role in increasing the international visibility and credibility of India in polar governance, leading to international collaboration and cooperation in scientific and logistics fields. हमने पहले भी बहुत सारे scientific expeditions send किए हैं Antarctica में. Now we can have international collaboration also, because we'll be adhering to the international standards and India is there to protect the Antarctic ecosystem. So this sends a positive image. This was your full answer. Now go through the full answer on our website rajisacademy.com. The link to the website is available in the description below. The first link, if you click on that, you will find the answer to this question. Read it, write your own answer and post it in the comment section. Stay tuned, keep working hard, and I'll see you with another discussion tomorrow.